My name is Danny Palomino. Today I'm going to be going into depth about my topic, which is welfare and or TANF, which stands for Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. As far as the history goes, welfare began in 1935 through President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and is state administered and federally supported. So that means that the income comes from both the state and the federal government, basically. Um, this was originally made to aid families with dependent children, which was at the time AFDC, and this was established with the Social Security Act in 1935 as well. However, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, which is TANF, came in to basically replace AFDC to do as the name suggests, temporarily assist needy families, and we'll talk about why it says temporary. Um, the reason why I said that it replaced it was because in 1996 there was a welfare reform in which it started to highly encourage employment for long-term financial dependency, so that people would honestly just stop relying on welfare as a whole and rely more on themselves to help them figure it out, really. As far as how welfare works, um, welfare began by assisting families with children whose income-producing parents were no longer available. Like, let's just say your guardian wasn't able to make money no more, wasn't able to help you financially. This is when they would step in and you would apply to receive help. However, with the welfare reform in 1996, welfare really shifted towards encouraging employment for long-term financial dependency. So instead of, like I said before, just solely depending on welfare to get through with your life, they really encouraged you to really get jobs and give you all the tools necessary in order to move forward as a functioning adult, really, and get a job and move forward that way. However, there's some people that take advantage of this and work and still receive welfare, so it's hard, but they're trying to figure it out and crack it down. How does it meet the needs of the community? As far as this goes, it meets the needs of the community due to the fact that it encourages long-term employment, like we've been talking about, and it offers great services such as resume writing, work placement with job training as well, and it also gives educational opportunities to study and learn, help you find a path, even if it's late in your life. They'll try to help you out and they will put you in the right path. The reason that this meets the community is due to the fact that these tools help lower unemployment rates. As you may see, as you may read, with encouraging long-term employment, of course, the unemployment rate will drop, and this will reduce poverty and overall a stronger community, a working community, which is always good. Improvements in TANF. So these are just honestly personal things that I've seen that I thought maybe they can improve on. And as far as one thing goes, I just believe that TANF and welfare as a whole could be improved if the government eligibility standards were a little lowered, just because every year thousands of families are turned down when they could in fact use the help. Of course, many people apply, and you can't say yes to everyone, but I do feel like many times there are people that need it that don't receive the help. So I'm not sure how they could figure that out, but maybe they could drop the standards just a little bit, just to help those families that are struggling, even for a short amount of time, receive help that they may need. Due to many reasons, you never know. I also recommend that the government or welfare should offer the services that we spoke about, like resume writing, work placement with job training, for free, and they should really help people with this so that they can get on the right path to receive a job. In this country, there's a lot of issues with homelessness. I feel like with that, if we made it more well known that the government wants to help people and offer services, I think that would help a lot of people, not just homeless, but a lot of people in general that are maybe scared to take that step. There's some other interesting facts that I'd like to talk about. Just from my studies and my annotated bibliographies, I found a couple of these things out, which I just wanted to share. For one, it was that the clients are more likely to interact favorably with welfare programs if they believe that their care workers are empathetic, and supportive. What this just means is that um, having a great experience with your caseworker in this case, it really can mean that you're going to succeed more with welfare in general. And it sounds crazy, but a person's like relationship with someone else can help them become more confident and not feel discouraged and alienated. Because if someone's rude to you and you're just trying to receive help, how would that make you feel? Definitely not good. So, secondly, welfare caseworkers are trained to help clients become self-sufficient so that they are better off after receiving welfare benefits. So, like we talked about, like these are trained people that are trained to help you continue your life and continue um, after welfare to continue to get money in a different way and really make a way for your family with jobs and with work and in other ways. Third of all, people typically pick ways to cope that are socially acceptable rather than financially ideal. This is such as avoiding government help to retain social standing. I found this crazy just based off the fact that people really care about others' opinions so much that they avoid accepting help when they need it just to seem like accepted in their social standing, whether it be with their neighbors or other people. And lastly, people's constant desire to be considered hardworking extends poverty cycles for those in rural communities. These are all things that I found super interesting, and I just wanted to share because you wouldn't believe it unless I told you. I feel like so. Those are interesting facts. Here are my 3 sources that I used. I used all of my annotated bibliographies, and thank you so much for giving this a listen.